Welcome back to Michael Cachoian Behind the Music. The year is now 2008. After many successes from the first two records, Cachoian began work on his third studio album, Status Pending, in the summer of 2008. The album was much different from the first two records in that it was highly experimental, contained longer compositions, and was also a double album, lasting almost 1.5 hours. The album's lead single, I'm on Crack, was perhaps the most successful single off the album. I'm on Crack was almost 8 minutes long, the second half of it entirely instrumental, and yes, it was me experimenting with funk rock and also disco, mostly from the 70s and 80s era, but I did a lot of songs on Status Pending because I didn't want to be labeled as a pop rock musician forever. And I really liked punk rock from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and I wanted to incorporate that into a new sound. Even though the album had 32 songs, 16 from each disc, only one of them became a hit, and despite 5 singles were released, even though it was more singles than any other album before that. I still consider Status Pending to be my strongest and still my favorite record to date because it helped me to expand my sound to different listeners, to a different generation, and not be stuck in the life is like slavery and my woman, my aid era forever. Though the album was critically acclaimed, it did not sell nearly as well as the last two, which caused Cachoian to go into a hiatus starting in the end of 2008. By the end of 2008 and into the early parts of 2009, Wall Street, the commercial and economic center of New York City's Manhattan, started to decline. Stocks were plummeting. College students could not find a job after graduation. People even lost their jobs. It was the biggest economic recession since the fall of 1991, which also was due to another musical change in the shift of glam metal to grunge. I was pretty disappointed with the sales of Status Pending, even though I liked the record, and I had to dismantle Irish Records in Thanksgiving of 2008. So basically, I fired myself from my own record label. I didn't want to do it, but things were looking too great in the future, and I thought either I'm going to have to compete with this new era or wait it out. So I decided to wait it out. And Status Pending was also the last album released under the Michael Cochran moniker. When we return, we will discuss the changing times and the drastic fall of Cachoian's career, which lasted over a period of the next 4 years. And later, we will discuss his return to music when Michael Cachoian Behind the Music returns.